Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the channel. Today I have a flip through of Circles of Fun Animals coloring book. This is by Dover Publications. It is a Spark coloring book. The artist is Maggie Swanson. And I thought we would just take a look at the book and maybe color an image and just have a good time. But I really like this book. Dion over on the Facebook group has been coloring in this book, and she's been sharing some pictures, and it's just the cutest little book, so I had to get it and had to try it out. So let's take a look inside. Now these books are actually targeted at the toddler to young child age, but I think they're cute just for all ages. And they're just cute little animals and little circles. And each one of the pages are perforated, so you can tear them out after you complete a picture. And they're just so cute and so adorable. I looked on Amazon, and it looks like there are several other books by Dover Publications that are also the Spark. And they look like they could all be very adorable. They're very affordable. This book, I believe, is $5.99. And that looks like that's about where all the other Spark books are priced also. And I'll leave a link down in the description to this book if you're interested. And then you can just kind of follow that link on over to any other of the Dover Spark books that you may be interested in. Little owls. I think this picture is just absolutely adorable. So cute. There's 30 images in the book, so lots to color. They're single-sided. And the paper is a very nice paper. It's very comparable to the other Dover Publication books like Creative Havens. And then on the back you have draw your favorite animal. This would be image, I believe, 31. A little bit of information on Dover. And here's your back cover. And it says that Spark Activities That Inspire is a series that offers a wide variety of engaging activities that will foster creativity in children ages 6 to 10. Okay, not toddlers, ages 6 to 10. But I mean, I think this is absolutely adorable for any age at all. Any age. And its MSRP is $5.99, and that's what it's listed for on Amazon today. Okay, just grab a couple pages to put behind my image. I didn't, let me grab a page. Sorry, guys. I was not prepared. Not prepared at all. And I thought I would just work on this cute little guy. It's the first image in the book. And I'm going to be using my Shuttle Art Markers. It's these. I really like these markers. They are very well made. Very, very good seals on them. To me, they feel really nice in my hand. And there's some very good colors. They're very smooth on the edges, but it is kind of a triangular shape. And this is the Shuttle Art Marker. I'll leave a link down below to them also. They come in 88 colors, plus you get an additional colorless blender also. So 89 total. Alrighty. I think I'm going to go in with number 26, which is Pastel Peach. And we're just going to zoom in some and work on the little giraffe here. I'm going to, I think, do maybe a Pastel Peach for his body, and then go in with a darker tan for his little spots, and hopefully that will look nice. Yeah, I do like these Shuttle Art Markers. The way I found them was actually kind of on accident. My Tuesday morning had some markers that were $9.99 for, you know, little small sets, and you know, they were like separated out into color families. And I picked up a couple of those, and they were called Fireflies. Oh, I really didn't. Well, I guess we could do that. They're called Fireflies, and I picked those up, and I brought them home, and I colored with them some, and I really liked them a lot. And I was just tootling around on Amazon one day, and I happened to just open up and glance at the Shuttle Art Markers. And I noticed that they looked identical to those Fireflies. So I went ahead and I purchased them, and they're the same marker as the Firefly. I can't find any difference. I've checked even the ink colors, and everything seems to check out on those. So I've been very pleased with these markers since I got them. There's not a lot in the way of skin tones in this set, but there's a lot of different colors and everything. I like them a lot. There's also a brand called Artify, and it's an 80 color set. And in the 80 color sets, they're very similar to these Shuttle Arts. They're just a slight difference in the caps. Other than that, they are pretty much identical, except the ink colors are a little different in the Artifies. Even though some of the color names are the same, it does have some colors that this set doesn't have. So I had purchased the Artifies, and we'll work with those one day so you guys can get a good look at those also. And to me, if you add the Artify to the Shuttle Art, you really get a really large set of markers, because the colors are just a tad bit off between the two sets. So most of the pens become, you know, a new pen, even though it may have the same color name. I'm really glad that I purchased this book too after I got it in the mail and flipped through it. I was like, oh yeah, this is just cuteness. You know, I've really been enjoying doing Tabitha Barnett's Circles books, and this is kind of along the same lines, you know, so lots of fun waiting to be had with this little book. And I think I may just go cover to cover on this one because all the images are just so cute. So when I'm just kind of in the mood to color something just cutesy, I'll probably pull this one out and just kind of do the next image and then the next image. Of course, I may change my mind on that, but it's one of the few books that I have that I think that might be interesting to do. I'm sure you guys can hear Bradley walking all around the room. I know other color tubers seem to have this problem with their pets, especially their cats. It seems like where you turn the video on and they just want to be part of the action. And I think Bradley will hear me talking and he's like, oh, Mom's talking, she's up and about. And so he hops up and just kind of starts moving all around. Bless his little heart. His little nails just clickety, 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 and they really need to be cut. And I try to trim those as much as I can, but his poor little toes are so sensitive, and it scares him so bad, and you really can't cut much off before you're down into that area that makes it bleed. And it makes me feel bad to cut his nails, so I don't do it as much as I probably should. And if you do trim his nails, he doesn't speak to you or pay you much attention for a long time after that. He doesn't like it at all. I think he likes it even less than getting a bath, and he really dislikes getting a bath. I don't know what it is about coming in and getting on camera and him just deciding that he needs to be part of that action. All right, I think I'm going to go in with 21, which is terracotta. If I can find it. You know, it seems like it would. There it is. Okay. I struggle sometimes, and I really like it too. These caps on the Shuttle Arts actually stack, so that's really nice. I like that a lot when markers have stackable lids. It comes in very, very handy. I hope all of you are doing well. I'm doing good. I'm slowly on the mend. I think I'm going to need to talk to the doctor about getting a second round of antibiotics, though. I feel like the medicine has helped, but it has not completely eradicated the infection. And so we'll see. But other than that, I'm doing well. I made the trip up to Blick Art Materials yesterday. It's in Atlanta, and I live about 42 miles from the store. And where I live, we do have a lot of traffic, but nothing like the traffic up, you know, in the Atlanta area. And I probably shouldn't have went because, you know, I've been so sick and been having so many issues with my back and, you know, my neck area and everything and my side. But I felt like I had been cooped up in the house way too long. I was going a bit crazy. You know, cabin fever was setting in. The only thing I had really left the house for was to go to the doctor's. So I just really wanted to get out. And the drive was okay until I started getting into the city. Then the interstate started backing up, and my anxiety levels started getting pretty high. You know, you're just always, when the road's really congested like that, you're always trying to not only pay attention to, you know, what you're doing, but you're kind of trying to anticipate what everyone else around you is going to do. And, you know, here in Atlanta, and I'm sure it's like that in most cities, if you're in backed up traffic on the interstate, it seems like people think, oh, well, my lane's not moving, maybe that lane will move faster. So they want to do a bunch of lane hopping back and forth just to, you know, save a couple car lengths, maybe. Because from what I've experienced, generally if I switch lanes for any reason, it just seems like that lane becomes the lane that's not moving. So if you, you know, if the car in front of you moves up and you don't move up right along with that vehicle, chances are somebody is going to just swerve right over in front of you. So you're always having to keep, you know, a really close eye on what's going on around you to keep from, you know, ending up in an accident. And all of that was just making my anxiety go up pretty high, which made me in turn really start to feel worse. But I made it to the store. The wind here, was horrible yesterday. Day before yesterday, Georgia actually hit a record for the month of February. We actually reached 80 degrees. Yes, here in the ATL, it was 80 degrees. Crazy hot for this time of year. And then a cold front started moving in, so that caused some rain overnight, and then some, you know, winds and things as it was moving in. The temperatures yesterday were only in the 50s, and the wind was whipping like crazy. The temperatures today are even lower, but, you know, I had to park in a parking area, and it was probably about 2 blocks from Blick, so I had to walk that down. The wind was so crazy, it made my eyes start watering. By the time I got to the Blick store, it looked like I had been crying, because my there was just tears running all down my face from, you know, just the wind. And you know, I think the wind's a lot worse anytime you're inner city. It gets caught like in between the buildings or whatnot. And it just seems to, you know, whip a lot harder than it normally would. But I made it in the store okay. Thank goodness. The people there were all super nice, as they always are. I've only been in one other Blick, but I've heard, you know, that everyone who has ever had any experiences with Blick, they're just very, very helpful and, you know, eager to do all they can for you. And that was, you know, definitely the atmosphere that I walked into. So, you know, that's always nice in, you know, any store. And, you know, I was just kind of there to browse and see what this store may have to offer. It was definitely larger than the Blick that I went to in Washington, D.C. when we were there back in October. And the lady at the Atlanta store told me that the Roswell store, which is a little further for me, is actually bigger than that store. So that was actually kind of neat to know. I may want to make a trip up to the Roswell store, you know, one day, just to kind of check it out and just kind of browse around. It may take me a while to work up the courage to go even further up into the city like that, but we shall see. And honestly, the Roswell store may be easier to get into. I'm not sure. Okay, this is... Oh, here we go. I actually have a... This is pale pink. And I actually have one of the firefly markers in here. It shouldn't be, but it is. You see, this is the firefly marker that I got from Tuesday morning. And this is the Shuttle Art Marker. And if you take a look at them, they're pretty stinking identical. You know, the only difference is, you know, just the writing on the marker. But the lids are the same. Everything's the same about them. I'll put this over to the side so I can get that over with my extra markers. And this is pale pink. I'll do our flamingos with this pale pink. But I did. I enjoyed looking around at the Blick store. I picked up 2 of the Stabilo Carbothello pastel pencils. I got them in like skin tone type colors, just 2. One for more of a peachy skin, you know, like a peachy, reddish, pinky. And then one when I do more of a yellowish or, you know, brownish, deeper tone. Just to kind of put a little bit of shading in on the faces maybe with that, because that's kind of what I was curious about using them for. So I picked up 2 of those, and I picked up 3 Inktense pencils. I got greens, one of more of a yellowy green that's, you know, would be a lot lighter, one that's just more of a medium color green, and then a deeper green. I thought that I could work on floral or grasses or something with that, just to kind of get a feel for how they work. And so far I'm pretty impressed. I like them. The more yellowy green that I got, that one, part of the lead came out, about maybe that much of the lead, and it kind of broke my heart. I didn't drop a pencil or anything, so I don't know what happened. It seemed fine in the store. But yeah, that happened. So, I mean, if you have Inktense, have you had any issues with that type of thing? I mean, I would hate to invest in the Inktense and find out that there's a lot of problems like that. But after trying those, I really, really like them. I think that might be something that I want to invest in the future. And, you know, being able to buy each one individually, of course, would be nice. And then I was able to try some of the Derwent's Color Soft pencils. Oh my goodness, I am in love with those so much. So much. I want to have that set. So I found out I really like those. I looked at the pan pastels. I decided not to buy any. Not because I didn't like them, because, you know, I do. But, okay, I'm going to use 32 Deep Yellow just on the nose here. But, I thought they were really nice, and I did like them a lot. But I thought, I've got all these pastels at home, and I'm probably going to regret that decision later. I don't know. We'll see. But, so I didn't get any of those right then. I think maybe if I had some, I might prefer them over other pastels. You know, we'll see. Maybe for a future purchase. But I got to play around with those. So that was fun. I looked at the full range of Neocolor 2s that were available. And I did test a Luminous, and I don't know that I really liked the feel of the Luminous too much. I'm going to do 94 dark brown just for the tips of the nose. I know a lot of times they're black in nature, but I don't like using black. And I also missed this right here, huh? But then I looked at some of the Prismacolor markers and looked at those a little bit. And of course I played with lots of Copic markers. Those were fun. Looking at all the different colors. I had what swatches of Copics I do have with me. And so I was kind of looking at the other colors, and I mean, I could be wrong, but my opinion right now on that, BG5, blue-green 5 is what I'm going to use next. A lot of the ones that I was swatching out, I have a few Copic sketches, but I mostly have all the chows, and I think that the chows does a wonderful job of representing a great range of color. And when you start kind of, and this isn't totally true all the way across the board, but for the most part, when you start adding in your Copic sketches, what you kind of start to see is just very light differences in shade, maybe, or hue or tone, or I mean, whatever the correct word for that would be. The colors are not very different. For the colors that are a lot of differences and stuff, I think you're getting a really good representation of that in the chows. So I don't think I would ever want to just try to complete an entire set of Copic sketch. I mean, I could be wrong. Of course, we would all, if we could, we would all love to have all of them, you know, but it's not a necessity, is, you know, kind of what I was saying. Okay. I'm going to use 103 Potato Brown on the tree trunk here. But, yeah. So, yeah, played with the Copics, and that was fun. And that's kind of what I walked away from impression-wise, as far as expanding any further than the chows. There's a few colors, you know, that would be nice to have, but I don't think the whole kit and caboodle would ever be necessary. I think you would be able to have almost any color you could imagine without having that whole set. And the only thing I purchased other than just those couple little pencils, I did go ahead and get the 72 set of the Blick Artist Pencils. What are they called? The Blick Studio Pencils. I did go ahead and get the whole 72 set of that. Thanks to Corey, I was able to test the 36 count. And oh my goodness, I absolutely loved the feel of the Blick Studio pencils. And I just really, really wanted to have that set. So I did get those, and right now they're having a, you know, just for this weekend, it was like 20% off of your purchase for their preferred members, or preferred customers, or whatever that's called. So I was able to get a discount also, which was nice. So I did get the Blick pencils, and I do like them. I got those swatched out this morning, and yeah, I think it's a great color range, and I really like them a lot. Okay, I'm trying to get a good look at what I'm doing here now, because I kind of lost sight of the branches. You know, the trunk and the branches just kind of disappeared there. Okay. Very, very nice. The one thing this set is missing is a really light blue. I may actually go over to my Zanjis and grab a lighter blue here in just a minute. Yeah. Okay, 67 is pastel blue, and that's what I'm going to do this water with, I think. trying to figure out exactly where the water ends and everything else begins. So when I left Blick, Gary had called and he needed me to stop by Fox Appliance, which is just a store where you can get appliance parts, like appliance replacement parts when things, you know, kind of go wrong with your appliances. We've been having an issue with the refrigerator. The fan seemed to be going out. It was very noisy. So he had placed an order for the part and they had it waiting. He just asked me if I would pick it up. So I had to drive in, and it was a little bit of a detour, but it was okay. But by that point, I was so tired. My anxiety had been up, and my throat was starting to get sore again, and I was just tired and just wiped out. But I got that and got that part back home. So we were able to fix the noisy refrigerator. It shouldn't be giving us problems anymore, hopefully. It was quite annoying. You could hear it into other rooms when it would start making all of its crazy noises. So it's pretty annoying. But we got that fixed, luckily. And I was just so wiped out, and no one's been feeling really good. Gary's been having a lot of headaches because of his blood pressure and things, and so we were like, okay, we're just gonna run out and grab a bite to eat tonight. Nobody feels like cooking. There's just, no, we're not gonna make us do this. So we went to a place called Shakura, which is a Chinese buffet and hibachi grill in the town right next door to us. And it's probably my favorite Chinese restaurant around here. Excuse me, I'm sorry. The sinus drainage is still crazy. So we had that for dinner. I love their salt and pepper shrimp. It's very, very yummy. So I had that, and they had coconut shrimp. I love that. I love all kinds of shrimp. I'm not a big fan of just the cold iced cocktail shrimp. I'm not too big of a fan of that. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I have a hard candy. But, yeah, I like fried shrimp. Cocktail shrimp. Shrimp scampi is probably my favorite. Coconut shrimp. Salt and pepper shrimp. All of those are very good. I'm trying to decide if the rest of this is water, or is it just like beach, or because part of me feels like the water goes almost like way up into here, because, you know, it looks really rolly and wavy, and then this would be like grass, like the edge. I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll roll with it. And so we came home after that and just kind of just rested the rest of the night. I was just feeling really wiped out. I did a little bit of coloring. I've been working pretty heavily in my Deborah Muller Little Sweethearts book. You know, Valentine's Day is just a few days away, and after the holiday, I mean, I know I'll end up just sitting that book up and I won't look at it again until probably next year. So I was like, well, I can go ahead and get some coloring done in it. I feel like I'm behind on my coloring from how bad I felt. So, I don't know, but I thought I was really behind in my coloring last month also. But then when it came time to do the monthly video, I was like, wow, I had a lot more done than I even imagined I had gotten done. So, I mean, that may be the same, that may be the case this month, but you guys might see a lot of the Deborah Muller and even the Tabitha Barnett this month, because I haven't felt real good. So I've done a lot of the Tabby, Tabby's work just to be able to just enjoy sitting back and laying down, just putting down the color. And then, of course, I've been working in the Deborah Muller book. I did the one color and chat with you guys from her Villainesses, well, Heroes and Villainesses and Storybook. But I've really been working pretty heavy in the Little Sweethearts book. And then yesterday, I got the new Jade Summer Love book in the mail, and when I got it, I thought, why did you order this? You're so close to Valentine's Day. And I did the same thing at Christmas. It seemed like I kept ordering Christmas books, so I knew I was never going to get, the color in, like, I would hope before, the holiday was over. So, there are some decent images in this one. A lot of Jade Summer books I'm just not a huge fan of, but I mean, there was some cute images in this one, so I did go ahead and get it. The Jade Summer Fantasy Volume 4 or 2, Volume 4 came out, I believe, yesterday. And I did purchase that. It is actually 4 books in one, so you have 100 images. Now, you do not get repeated images like you do in most of the other books that are 25 images and then they repeat. You do get the full 4 books, but it's not, you don't get the second image. So, I purchased that yesterday, and I put a notice on the community board as well as on the Facebook group if anybody was, interested in that book. Hopefully you got that, and if not, and you're watching this to Amazon, there's just a straight up Amazon link there, and if you just do a search for Jade Summer Fantasy 2, it'll pop up. It's $9.99 right now, but that's 100 images, which is a really good price because you're getting all 4 books. It is, I'm using 76 Sky Blue next. It is cute witches, cute fairies, unicorns, and I believe it's cute mermaids. It's all 4 of those books in one. And I was going to get the Cute Fairies book at some point. Anyway, I was kind of wanting to get that book. And it was like $7.20, I think, for Cute Fairies. And I thought, hey, I'm going to go ahead and buy this because there was a couple images in the unicorn book that I had liked, but not enough to, make me buy the book. So I hadn't bought that book yet, and so for those extra few images, and you know, the cute witches are cute, but I would have probably never bought the book, you know, as a standalone. So I was like, hey, you know, I'm sure there's a couple in there that I would really like in that. So I thought, you know, hey, you're getting, you know, a couple of the mermaid ones that you're going to like. You're getting a couple of the witches. You're getting a couple of the unicorns. And then you're getting the cute fairies book, which you thought you wanted anyway. You're getting all 4 of these for $9.99. It was just kind of a no-brainer. So I did go ahead and purchase that. One person in the group said that I had put a quick end to their notebook purchase policy that they had themselves on. And I'm telling you guys, just stop making those kinds of commitments, because you can't keep them. I'm telling you, I've made them kind of commitments before. And as soon as you say no more markers, there's going to be a great sale on, or some brand new marker or something. When you say no books, there's going to be new releases. When you say no more pencils, something's going to go on a lightning deal. You know, it just happens. So never ever say never. What I say is I'm not making purchases unless something goes on a good sale. That's kind of what I've started saying. And that works out, because that way I don't feel like I'm telling myself no. I'm telling myself not unless there's a good deal. So that works out better for me to do it that way than to try to put myself on a no spend anything, because I'll always fail at that and get all upset and depressed. So when I set a goal for myself and I don't meet that goal, it really upsets me. I mean, to my core, I feel like a failure. So I try not to make unrealistic goals. And I know if I'm on these coloring boards, and if I'm on ColorTube, and if I'm looking at Amazon, I'm going to find things I want to buy. All right, I'm going to take a short break. I'll be right back. You won't miss me. Okay, thank you. I'm back. So I was talking about no spins and things like that. I had said I wasn't going to buy any more pencils if they weren't on sale, which I failed at miserably yesterday when I purchased the Blicks. But here's the way I kind of rationalized that. I absolutely fell in love with those when this is Emerald Green 55, by the way. When I got the 36 and I swatched them out, and they went down so easy for me, and I just loved them. I knew right then, I'm like, I need these in my life. But so the way I kind of rationalized that in my head is that I was going to have to keep buying like the Sergeant Art Supremes, because they kind of become my favorite, and at 20 bucks a box, having to do that every time I needed a color, I was like, well, and that's not saying I won't keep Sergeant Art Supremes around. I will. I like them. But, you know, I thought that it wasn't that bad of a deal. I think they were $63, but I got 20% off of that for the 72 count. And of course I can get those open stock, and they're just a little over $1 a piece when you buy them open stock. And I don't know, I mean, there's sometimes when the Prismas are okay. I think that they're a little too soft for me. They're very buttery, and I have such a heavy hand that I think I waste a lot using the Prismas. I think I waste a lot of pigment because of my heavy hand. And I have a full set of Prismas, but I mean, and I wouldn't get rid of those. I'll still use those, because I mean, there's 150 colors, you know. But I had thought about polychromos, and I just can't do that layer thing. And I've got 12, And even swatching those out, I can kind of get why some people say they're just too hard. They're beautiful. Gosh, they're beautiful. And if I were to buy a pencil off of looks, I would be all about having the polychromos. But the Blicks, they were just kind of that perfect happy medium, kind of like Goldilocks and her porridge. You know, they just felt just right. And I wish there was more colors. I really hope that Blick will expand that set further. That would be so wonderful. But I like those, and I look forward to trying them out in some different books and seeing how I can color with those. Let's see. My Hannah Carlson Daydreams book got here yesterday also. So I'll be trying my hands at some of my first Hannah Carlson book. There's several of the others that, well, a few of the others that I would really like to have. Was it Magical Dawn maybe or something like that? Seemed nice. Seasons. And I think there was one other that I was really interested in of that. So we'll get there eventually. I've got a book order I want to place. Well, I guess I should say I want to order some books. I need to figure out which books to buy. I only have, you know, so much that I can spend, and I've got to decide which books I want to get with what I have. So that's going to be something I need to think on. But it's been a little while since I've done a book haul. I've gotten, you know, a book here and there, but to actually, you know, order several books at once and get those, you know, as a haul. I was thinking maybe the artists, because I've got several artists and I've got like a few of each of their books picked out, you know, like on my wish list and stuff. And I think I was just going to go down and maybe watch the full flip throughs of each one of the books from each particular artist and maybe pick one. And I wouldn't even be able to do all the artists, but maybe one, pick out a few artists and then one of each of the books that I have that I would like to have from those artists. I think I might do it that way. And then in a month or so, come back in and basically do the same thing again. Yeah. I think that's what I might do. I'm hoping this is bush. I mean, it's not high enough, I don't think, in the sky to be clouds. I sure wish I would have had coloring books like that, this, when I was 6 to 10 years old. This would have been awesome. You know, I was coloring in those crappy, newspapery, whatever they are, you know. I don't even know how to describe, you know what I'm talking about. The ones that are like brownish colored and, yeah. It's the only kind of coloring books I had as a kid. So when I got into adult coloring and saw these different papers, I was like, oh, that's awesome. You know, 'cause when I first kind of heard about adult coloring, I kind of thought, ew, I don't want to color. You know, because I didn't want to go back to that, because I was thinking, you know, that same, the same thing I had colored in before. And I didn't want to do that. Okay, this is 59 pale green. Okay. Like my marker might be a little dry, but this marker definitely got to work over during the holidays. Maybe it's doing okay. I think that the Shuttle Arts would be, and the Artifice, I think those would be good markers to buy refills, just to buy like the Blick or the Copic refills and refill these budget markers, because I believe these are probably the most well-made markers of the budget-friendly sets that I have. I think these, to me, feel like the best quality, and probably the Shuttle Arts even a little more than the Artifice. Some of the Artifice feel like they definitely feel a lot juicier, but in that they almost feel like the nibs might be a little softer, which I don't think is a good thing as far as, you know, over time nibs wearing down. So, and I know we're talking about possibly refilling budget markers in the live stream the other day, and I had a blast in that live stream. Thank you for everybody who made it. Thank you. It was so much fun. I look forward to doing more of those. But one person had proposed the question, well, wouldn't the colors be different? And here's kind of what I think. Make sure when you get markers that you're swatching these markers out, and hold on to your swatches for sure. Then when the color runs out, you'll have the swatch so you can reference that color really easy. And then if you can go to a craft store, you know, hopefully if you can get to a craft store nearby, most of those craft stores, Michael's for sure, Blick's, you know, any of them that sell the Copics open stock, you can actually try their colors. So you can actually use a little swatch and just kind of swatch their ink out and see what color marker in Copic is going to be closest. And you just want to get really, really close is all you're really looking to do. You just want to get super close. And once you find that marker, and you're definitely going to find it in the Copic line, I promise you, you'll know to buy that ink refill. And then once you buy that ink refill, you know, you can just do an updated swatch. So if there's a color difference, you know, it'll be represented, because you're going to be refilling that marker from there on out with that particular color in the Copic. So I think it will work out that way. That's kind of my thoughts on how I'll refill any of the budget markers that I want to refill. And you can also go on like the Copic website and look at what they show. And this is what I have found with my Copics. Copic's ink is the closest I've found to representing its color on the cap. It's not 100%, okay, it's not. But it doesn't have to be 100% if all you're doing is doing a refill, because you're just trying to get close. You know, so if you don't have a shop or something nearby, you could just kind of look on the Copic's website, look at the color representations that they have, go to Blick's website, you can see them there also. And just kind of purchase based off of that, and it should get you close enough to the color on the marker that you're trying to refill. But I really like the strength of the nibs in the Shuttle Arts. I like how airtight the markers seem. A good snap seems to have really good tight caps. I like that. The nibs seem very sturdy. I think they would hold up for a long time. So of my budget-friendly markers that I currently have, I think that the Shuttle Arts would probably be one of the top ones to refill. Because if you're going to refill your budget markers, you're going to need to make sure that you're refilling markers that are well made, because if the nibs and things give out, you can't replace those nibs. So you would want to be using the marker that you'd want to be using the marker that is going to hold up the longest. Okay. Did you hear that snap? It's a pretty good snap. Okay, I'm going to go with 46 Vivid Green now. I'm going to do these grass blades here. I'm also going to spend some time looking at these little spark books. I mean, there's really not any flip-throughs or anything, not that I could find for these books. So, you kind of be buying blind, but after seeing how cute this one is, I think it would, you know, I don't think you would be risking too awful much. And this artist, Maggie Swanson, she actually had a couple other of the spark books that she was the artist of also. Okay. So Gary's seen the new surgeon, and he's got a couple tests to go get ran, that this surgeon wants to just have a little bit of additional test. And then his absolute final quote-unquote test and surgery date is the 27th. We have to be there really super early in the morning. But they'll be running this final test, and the doctor says he's, you know, pretty sure what the test is going to show, but he wants to see it. And he said that once he gets that test, if he sees what he fully expects to see, that while Gary's under anesthesia from that test, that he will just go ahead right then and take him to surgery and go ahead and put the stents in or whatever needs to be done. So that'll be on the 27th. So if you'll just keep us in your thoughts and prayers, that would be very much appreciated as that date rolls around. This is 43 Olive Green. But Gary's definitely looking forward to going ahead and getting this done, because, you know, his blood pressure is staying so high, and it'll go high and then it'll go down. It never gets normal, but with all these spikes that he's getting, it's causing migraine headaches, and it's just causing him to feel really crappy, you know, just every day. So he is super duper looking forward to getting this done. in hopes that, you know, it's not gonna, it's probably would never cure his hypertension, but it would probably go a long way at helping. You know, we can get back to the point where it's controllable with his medications, and he won't be having these migraine headaches or anything anymore. And that would be super, super, super. These books are just too cute. Too cute. Sorry, I didn't mean to shake the desk. I heard it shaking, so I know it shook that time. I really enjoyed doing the live stream with you guys. For those of you that were there, thank you for being there, and thank you for your support. For those of you who didn't make it, I hope that when I live stream in the future, that maybe you'll be able to pop in and say hi. I enjoyed it so much, and I was able to actually complete, and I don't understand how, but I was able to complete a picture start to finish. I even did a pastel background, all on a live stream, and it wasn't that long of a live stream either. So that was really cool. You guys think these are flowers? I think they need to be flowers. I'm gonna go in with 87, which is azalea purple, unless I change my mind. I did. I want to go with 84. 84, which is pastel violets. I thought that would look better against the pink flamingos. Okie dokie. So you've got about another week, a little less than a week maybe, to make sure you're entered into the 1,000 giveaway. So try to, if you haven't already, get over and get entered for that. I'll close the entries out on the 14th. And then I will do a live stream on the 15th, and we'll pick a winner. And that'll be a little bit, I'll show some Happy Mail, and I'll be coloring the freebie from Tabitha Barnett. If you haven't gotten the freebie, the link's in the description for the giveaway video. I've really liked seeing some of the ones that you guys have colored, that you've posted. You know, you can get, I believe you can, of course, if you saved it to your computer, you don't need to re-download it, but I mean, print it out, color it again if you want. There's 2 in there, so look forward to doing that with you guys. And then, of course, we'll do the drawing. do these rocks, rocks, rocks. I'll do just these little rocks here. This is burnt sienna, 95. Okay. And I'll probably do some shading on this picture, but we're over an hour, so I'm definitely not going to do any of that on camera, I don't think. But as always, well, my new policy is to put the picture at the end, so look for that. 101 yellow ore. Yeah, I'll do like the sandy beach, that color. Or yellow ochre. And that's 101. There is a helicopter flying over, and it is loud. We actually have a man who's missing right now in our town. It is really sad. He's 58 years old, and he is suffering from advanced dementia. They've been looking for him for the past few days, and they found his Yeti cup, and they found his sweater in the wooded area near his home. But they've been unable to locate him. They've had the dogs out who's followed scents, and the dogs ended up losing the scent. It was near the highway where the dogs lost the scent, so they don't know if the man actually got into a car with someone. I don't know. I feel really bad for him and for his family. He's been in my prayers. I don't know if that helicopter could have had anything to do with their search, but I mean, it's possible. It was definitely very low, and it was very loud. I could feel it here inside. But this poor man, he needs medication too, so I don't know. I'm praying for, you know, a good, happy outcome. Okay. Whew. I really don't want to go dig for another marker. But I mean, the birds just, I mean, I guess if I could do these maybe as 2 red birds, I could still pull off bluebirds here and these up at the top, but they're going to blend in too much. There's just not a very light blue. The baby blue is the lightest blue in the set, and it's not really super light. Here, I'll show you. 66 is baby blue. This is sky blue, and this is pastel blue. Okay, and this is baby blue. It would have been nice to have had you know, a lighter blue. And I'll show you guys the entire swatches for all of these in case, you know, you guys are interested at all. See, I think if I put that against that, it's not going to show up enough. There's not going to be enough contrast. But I could make them, I guess, red birds. And we have red birds, we have brown birds. But it just seems like when I see birds in coloring, kind of the first thought I have is blue. And I mean, I don't know why, but it's, you know, we have blackbirds. Okay. Okay. I think we'll do 14 is vermilion, which is kind of like generally like an orangey red. But, I mean, it's like the lightest that I have. Oh, is that too orangey, people? Peoples, was that too orangey? It's kind of too late now. It's not too bad. All right, there we go. It is done, other than shading. What do you guys think? I think this is just, excuse me, this is just the most adorable book. It is so cute. It's 30 images. Very, very nice images. Koalas, monkeys, elephants, chickens, horses, kitty cats, camels, squirrels, tigers, bunnies, lambs. It's all in here. Alligators. So I will leave a link to this book down in the description. Again, it is Circles of Fun Animals coloring book. It's by Dover Publications, Spark, and the artist is Maggie Swanson. It's beautiful, and we colored with our Shuttle Art Markers, which I love. There'll be a link for those down below also. And here's just the swatch of the color range on these. You get all of these colors, and then you also get these colors right here, which is just warm grays and 2 fluorescents, and then you get a colorless blender. So they're really nice markers. I like them a lot. There'll be a link for them down below also. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. At the very end, there will be the finished picture if I do any shading or anything, so you can see that. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would hope that maybe you would consider doing so. We would love to have you here. Ring my bell to be notified of future videos and if I go live. And thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, peace, love, and happy coloring. Bye, guys.